Hello, Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome online crew to my very first live video of 2023. So it's awesome to be back. You can probably see that I'm actually not in my usual kind of setting. I've got a bed in the background. I'll explain that in a minute, but this is the best I can do with what I've got. I'm actually still away with my family. I'm interstate in an apartment with the family. That's a whole different story. I got this 2-bedroom apartment, and the one that Paul and I were in, the air conditioning was leaking, and then we had to move rooms, so we're actually separated from the kids, and it's a whole saga, but it's all good, and we're here. You can kind of see, you should see my setup, guys. I've got my phone sitting on a tissue box leaning against the microwave just to get some kind of height, because I forgot my selfie stick. So you can kind of see, can you see the bedroom in the background, which can close off the bathrooms next to that? And then we've got a whole sort of like kitchen in front of me. So how are you all? I can't do this without getting my finger in the way. I'm so much better on my computer, but I'm going to try. If you can you hear me and see me okay, guys? Because I can't see any comments come up. So just let me know. Whoa. Hang on. No comments are coming up for me in a minute, but hopefully Facebook will catch up with me. But if you can see me and hear me okay. Olive, I just saw your comment. And Meredith. Hello, Olive. Hello, Meredith. How are you? Keep it coming, guys, so I can see your names. I can just pick them up at the bottom of the screen. So I'm not home yet, but I will be by tomorrow night. So just a couple of reminders for you guys. We've still got Clubhouse tomorrow. So make sure you join us for that, because we're talking about things that we can do differently, activities and actions that you need to do differently to get better results in your business for 2023. And also coaching community members. We are diving deep with goal setting, which is what I'm kind of talking about today. The 5 biggest mistakes that people make with goal setting. Are you making these mistakes? Or if you're one of those people that kind of sets goals and that you don't often achieve them, one of these things that I'm going to talk about on this live today might be the reason why you're not achieving them. So, check in with the 5 things that I'm going to share with you today. This is done by research. This is backed up by, I've heard Mel Robbins talk about this. This is just not me making this stuff up. This is the main documented reasons as to why people fail with their goal setting. You're probably over listening to goal setting maybe at this time of year. So come December, January, everybody talks about goal setting, but for good reason, crew. If you don't set goals, you don't know where you're going. You have to actually set goals to set a path, to set an intention, and to set the universe to work for you in whatever you believe in. To actually put things in front of you to make them happen. So you've got to set goals. Absolutely. Hey, Candace. Hey, Laurie. Great to see you ladies on, and everyone else that was saying hello as well. Thank you very much. Hey, Tracy. How are you from the Gold Coast? I'm actually in Melbourne at the moment, Tracy. That's where I am with my family at the moment. We're not home at the moment, so we're enjoying the sights of Melbourne, which has been pretty cool. If you've been watching my stories, you'll be seeing a lot of what we've been doing over the last couple of days. It's been pretty cool. So coaching community members, just remember that the training this week, I'm diving deep into a really simple way to set your goals, but to set yourself up for success, because we want to set your goal setting up for you to win rather than goal setting that you never kind of achieve. How many of you have set a whole lot of goals and you're always disappointed with your results? So let me know if that's you, because one of these 5 reasons that I'm about to mention might be why. Okay, so let me go into them. Got my notes on the side here. So if I'm looking over, that's what I'm doing. Okay, number 1, so really take these in with your goal setting. So we set goals and we set all these things that you want, but there is an actual big difference between a dream and a goal, just to be clear. Okay, but the number 1 reason that people don't achieve their goals is because they're focused on the how more than they're focused on the purpose and the why behind it. If you don't have a really good reason, and I know a lot of you know this in your industry, in this industry of home-based business and direct selling, social selling, and network marketing, all of that, because it's drummed into us from our company's trainings, really. But if you don't have a really good reason as to what it is that you're building your business for, you probably won't follow through with your goals because it doesn't mean enough. Things that really mean something to you Like, have you ever, gone on a health journey? Maybe it's, eating or losing weight or something, and it's meant that much to you, like you're totally over yourself, and it's like, I've got to change. And that forces the change because it's the purpose behind it that really means something to you. Same in business. What does this business mean to you? Is it just something you're doing on the side and it doesn't really matter if it works or it doesn't? If that's how you truly feel, then the goals that you set, you probably won't follow through with, because it doesn't mean that much to you if you win or fail. Does that make sense? Can you kind of resonate with that? Like, if you don't have a real true purpose behind what it is that you're trying to achieve with your business, like, it doesn't really mean that much to you if you do well or you don't. Sorry, but you probably won't, because it's not meaningful enough for you. It's not purposeful enough. So for your goal setting to be successful, there has to be a real purpose, and you've got to have an emotional connection behind it. That's number one, why a lot of people fail at their goals. Their business doesn't actually mean that much to them. Okay, so check in with yourself regarding what your business means to you, or what your business could give you, or the money that you make from your business. What does that mean to you? Go deeper. It's not just the business itself, it's what the business affords you. It's the money that you make, and it's not even the money that you make, it's what the money allows you to do. Pay more bills, go on family trips, do renovations in the home, buy a bigger home, all those kind of things. Like, what is the purpose behind what you're doing your business for? You've got to be really connected with that. You've got to keep reminding yourself of that. Otherwise, you probably won't. The driver isn't big enough. Make sense? The driver isn't big enough for you to follow through with those goals. Okay. Melvette, I always set goals and never achieve them. So check in with these 5 things that I'm talking about and see what resonates with you as to maybe, some of the reasons behind the fact that you're not achieving them. Okay. Number 2, a lot of people set too many goals. You've got too many things that you're concentrating on that you can't do any one thing really well. If you just set a few goals and you achieve them, do you realize how motivating that is for your brain? When you actually make progress, how good does that feel? And if you make progress and you're doing quite well and you achieve something, doesn't that motivate you to keep going? Like, think about it like your health or losing weight or something. Like, you start on a diet, you start exercising, and you lose a couple of pounds, or quite a few pounds, or a couple of kilos or something like that. It's motivating to keep going. Goal setting is no different. Set some really small goals that you know are achievable, and be proud of yourself, even if there's not a dollar amount attached to it initially. It might be an activity that you follow through. It might be some actions that you do, and you actually do the actions, and you're proud of yourself for doing the actions. That's more motivating to then continue to keep going. If you set like 20 goals, and some of those goals are really quite ambitious, and they're not quite achievable in the short term, you probably won't do very well with goal setting, like achieving your goals. So smaller goals and not as many of them, start there if you haven't done well with goal setting in the past. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, a lot of people set goals that are too big. At the beginning of this video, I said dreams are big, dreams are massive, goals are the sweet spot. Know the difference. You might have some massive dreams, some really big things that you want to achieve. You might want a bigger house, move, different things. You might want toys. You might want to give money to charities. You might have big goals, big dreams, but they are not workable as a statement. You need much smaller goals to be able to achieve that big thing in the end. So know the difference between dreams and goals, and bring your goals back to the sweet spot. Something that's pushing you, something that's stretching you, but something that's still achievable with a bit of a push. Okay? If it's achievable, if it's too much, like if it's unrealistic, like if you're in this industry of network marketing and you've got, let's say it's a rank, and that rank is a really high rank. 1, you've got to reverse engineer your numbers to know if it's achievable. And if you haven't recruited anybody in your team, or you've recruited 1 or 2 people, and you set a goal for a rank that you know has to have 5,000 people in it, is that a realistic goal? If you've never done it before and you set a goal that's completely different to what you've ever done in the past, is that a realistic goal? So some of you might need to bring your goals backwards. It's not to not have vision and not have dreams. It's just we've got to find that sweet spot between pushing ourselves but making it realistic enough that it's a push. It would take a lot of effort, but it's not completely unrealistic because you've never achieved something like that before. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4, your goals are way too general. Think of a goal as something that's got to be measurable. So how do you know when you get there? That's a goal. So if I say something like, I want to feel better, how do I know when I've got there? If I set a goal that's like, I want to lose some weight, how do I know when I've got to my ideal weight if I don't set a number and a time frame? So just be really careful when you're goal setting. Make it really specific and measurable. SMART goals, have you heard of that before? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic. Is it realistic? I forgot what the R is. No, SMART. No, it's not realistic. It's gone out of my head. And T is time frame. Okay, so when you're setting your goals, you've got to have them that they're specific enough and they're measurable. So think of it in a way where, how will I know when I've arrived? How will I know when I've achieved the goal? It's got to be measurable in some way. Okay, so that's number 4. You're not being specific enough with your goals. Therefore, you're not really achieving anything, because how do you know when you've actually achieved the goal if it's not measurable? Make sense? And the last one is that it's too rigid and there's no room to move, and you feel like a failure when you haven't done it. What I mean by that is, let's look at a DMO, like a daily method of operation. You might have a goal to get really good at your DMO, your daily method of operation, and you're like, I must achieve it. Thank you, Jade. Relevant. It's got to be relevant. Thank you, guys. That it's too rigid. It's like, I must achieve my DMO 7 days a week. And if you don't, it sends negative connotations to your brain because you haven't actually achieved your 7 days. So give yourself what we call a high-low range. So that could be something like between 5 and 7 days a week, I'm going to achieve my DMO 100%. So you've got some leeway. It's more exciting and it's more achievable, and it's more, it's just a better feeling when you get something that's in a range, like 5 to 7, rather than you set 7, you didn't achieve 7, and now you feel like a failure because you didn't achieve your goal. Okay, so it might be, think of you guys with team members or customers. I want to get somewhere between 3 and 5 customers this week or this month or something like that. Like, set yourself a range so you can keep pushing if you've already got there and you don't stop. Let's say you said 3 to 5 customers in the next week. Or let's stretch it out and make that in a month. And let's say you got your 3 customers within the first week. You don't want to stop there. So have a range to keep going. Oh, I've got my 3, I'm going to go for the 5. So you keep pushing yourself and you don't give up. And on the other respect, like, you've got a lower and a higher, gauge to go by. So if you're somewhere in the middle, or at least if you get the minimum, you've achieved something and you feel good about it rather than negative about it. Does that make sense? So ranges are a really good thing to think about in relation to setting goals because of the mind games it sends to your brain. So if it's too rigid, it's one number, and if you don't achieve that number, you failed, then people get really down on themselves, and you don't want to do that. If you're doing something rather than nothing, then that's a good thing, and we've got to recognize that. Okay? So did you get all those 5? If you didn't, I'm not going to repeat them. So go back to the beginning of this video, because these are statistically proven, the top 5 things as to the reasons to why people don't achieve your goals. I would guarantee in this industry, the main reason is it doesn't actually have a bigger purpose for you. It doesn't have a big enough purpose for you. Like, why did you join your business? What does it mean to you to make money out of this business? What choices is it going to give you? That's where you need to go. If you sit on the surface of this industry and this business, it won't be enough of a driver, because this industry is hard. Being an entrepreneur is difficult. The reason why so many people have jobs is because they go somewhere, they do a job, they get paid, they go home. As an entrepreneur, you probably wouldn't pay yourself on the activity that you did, and maybe you're not getting paid because you're not treating it like you're arriving at your desk in the morning, you're putting an 8-hour day in, and then if you're doing enough activity in 8 hours a day in this industry, you would be getting some results. But a lot of you won't do that because you're not going to fight. Like, it doesn't matter. Some of you probably should fire yourself at the end of 2022 and rehire yourself now in 2023 with a new description, a new purpose, new actions, very achievable goals in line with everything that I've said, and you might succeed better. Who's down for 2023 being a much better year than 2022? If that's you, it starts with your goal setting. I know you're probably sick of hearing about goal setting from everybody that talks about it, including myself. But goal setting is an absolute must for you to start the year. If you haven't done it yet, you need to do it. If you're in the coaching community, you'll join me in 2 days' time, where I'll walk you through a process to set yourself up for success with your goals. But just remember, there are reasons why people continually fail at achieving their goals. And it might be one of those 5 things that I've read out. It might be something else. It might just be you. It might be your self-belief, a lack of self-belief, lack of actions. You're too distracted. You go and do the washing and the dishes and scroll social media rather than sending some messages or creating some content. I don't know. You need to work that out. But work out what your bad habits are, because the only thing that's going to help you achieve the goals that you set is your habits. So look in the mirror and think, okay, what do I do well? What don't I do well? What habits do I need to change? Because it's your actual everyday daily habits that's going to help you succeed. So you need to work out what they are. Christina, yes, fire me and rehire me. Down with a better 2023. Awesome, Christina. Love it. Laurie, absolutely. This is the year to take the action I've been talking about for 3 years. Awesome. Action, action, action. Now you hit it. Change the bad habits. When we break it down, Melvet, at the end of the day, like, we set goals, we set actions, we set the things to do, but it's your daily habits that will either help you achieve those things or completely break them down. So it generally comes down to that when we break it right down, it's your daily habits that are going to help you be successful or otherwise. It's what you do every day. It's the things you get distracted by. It's the stuff that goes through your head every day. Like, if you woke up every day and you were super positive and you didn't look at your phone first thing in the morning and you filled your brain with some meditation and some writing in a journal and some visualization or whatever works for you, a bit of exercise, a bit of movement, a bit of yoga, a bit of walking, whatever it is, and you set your day up for success. And then you eat a really healthy breakfast, and then you sit down at your desk and do some work, and then you do all the things that you're meant to do. They are daily habits. All of that is daily habits. So you either do it or you don't. You get distracted by family, you get distracted by social media, all the things. That's what's going to make you successful or not. Guys, we all only have 24 hours in a day. I don't have any more time than you do. So why are there people out there making a hell of a lot more money than you, achieving a lot more than you? And have a look at your particular companies if you're in this industry of network marketing. And the company is the same, the products are the same, the comp plan is the same. So what's the reason behind some people doing super, super, super well and majority of people failing? It comes down to their daily habits at the end of the day. Okay? All right, I'm going to leave it there. I've talked long enough. The family is waiting for me in our other apartment because the kids, I don't think I'm going to do it, but the kids and Paul are all going to go zip lining shortly. And then we're going on a boat cruise. And then we're probably going to do a little bit more shopping. We've done quite a bit already. And then we've got this beautiful dinner booked on this sort of floating boat in the harbour or in the river. So we've got a big day planned ahead. So the family's waiting for me. I better go. I'm excited to be back. Well, kind of in routine. Not yet. We get home tomorrow night. But it's all on then for me. I've got some great stuff coming for you guys. Yeah, great stuff coming for you. So next week, definitely, I'll be full back in routine, but I've had a wonderful break. I've slept in. I've enjoyed time with family. Done obviously work in between, but it's nice to have a bit of a break. But it's on. It's on for 2023. So coaching community members, make sure you join me in 2 days' time, where we're really going to dive a lot deeper with this goal setting, because it's an absolute must. You just can't not do goal setting, but we've got to set you up for success with your goal setting. Okay. So thank you for joining me for my first live for 2023. Clubhouse is tomorrow. I'll be live again the next day from home, and the next day after that, that one will be earlier actually, because I'm hosting a webinar. So my last live video for the week will be earlier, but it's great to see you guys on. Oh, what, Laurie? You must do the zip line. I would make you if you were there. It's so much fun. Maybe. We'll see. Follow my stories and you'll find out. All right, guys. I'll see you soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.